You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Pete Sheppard Show. It is a Tuesday, July 29th here on a very hot day here in Southwest Florida. Hopefully you are comfortable wherever you are. There was no way I was opening with Shoot to Thrill this morning, considering what happened at 345 Park Avenue yesterday around 6:30, which we will get into inside where the NFL headquarters are located. I don't even want to say the guy's name. Went in and he ends up shooting 4 people yesterday inside the NFL building where the NFL headquarters are located on the 5th through the 8th floors. But we will get into all of that. And it's just, it's unbelievable to me how, I know it happened at 6:30 and I'm watching ESPN this morning and I know they tape everything, but there's just been not a lot of talk about it at all. And to me, I understand about Deion Sanders yesterday. And we'll have his incredible speech yesterday about how he beat bladder cancer, which nobody knew about. Of course, the legend Ryan Sandberg passed away from prostate cancer at the age of 65. We're going to have Tim Kirchin does a great piece about that. Just unfortunate. One of my favorite players of all time. Doesn't matter what team you like. Ryan Sandberg, a Hall of Famer, was an absolute legend. So then we got some NFL news, obviously, from camp, some baseball news as well. Red Sox lose a tough one last night, big rain delay in the 9th inning in Minnesota, and a lot more. We've got Bryce Harper cussing at the commissioner of Major League Baseball. We'll have his reaction about that. And some great guests today at 8:05 a.m. Trevor Harris from WQAM will join me. Bill Burt at 8:30 from the Eagle Tribune. We'll talk some Patriots and Red Sox and everything else in the NFL that's going on. And then 9:05 a.m. Joe Zagacki is going to join me, the play-by-play voice, everything Miami Hurricanes, but we are approaching football season, so we'll get his thoughts as well on Mario Cristobal's upcoming team and company and Carson Beck and all that stuff. Coming up today on the Pete Sheppard Show. Thanks for checking us out across the video platform, on X, on Twitter, following me at PShep326, on our Facebook pages, on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, CSN Florida, LinkedIn. Call or text the show 727-858-6650. And, of course, we have our great app, SR1029 The Game, SR1029thegame.com. And we say good morning as well to Angel Martinez. And yesterday around 6:30, an NFL League employee seriously injured, one of the people seriously injured in a shooting Monday at Midtown Manhattan building, which is at 345 Park Avenue. 4 people, including an off-duty New York City police officer, were killed, and another person critically wounded in the shooting. Goodell wrote in a statement, one of the employees was seriously injured in this attack. He is currently in the hospital in stable condition. And he said, we believe all of our employees are otherwise safe and accounted for, and the building has nearly been cleared, as obviously yesterday. Goodell said in a memo that there would be increased security presence at the league's offices in the days and weeks to come. He said employees based in New York should work remotely today or could take the entire day off. The gunman was Shane Tamora of Las Vegas. He also killed himself. He had a documented mental health history, according to reports, but the motive is still unknown. That's according to Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, said at a news conference. She said, we are working to understand why he targeted this particular location. The New York City Fire Department said emergency crews were called to Park Avenue office building around 6:30 for a report of someone shot. NFL employees were told to shelter in place at the time, and ESPN's Jeff Darlington said the NFL officers are on floors 5 through 8 of the 44-story building. 4 others sustained minor injuries while attempting to flee. So New York City Mayor Eric Adams said officials are still unraveling what took place. Just absolutely. I've seen pictures and everything. I don't know how somebody with a rifle can just walk into the building. It's so sickening and disgusting. I just can't believe it. And the blatant pictures that I've seen. The guy just walks into the building with a rifle. Just, And it's not like, and it was a good. It's not like he got dropped off and walked in. He just started walking in, and it was not. It seemed like a pretty decent walk. Like it didn't, it's like it wasn't like 2 feet and he walked in. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. And I'm stunned that ESPN is not doing more on this right out of the gate. But I guess there's only so much you could say. It happened at 6:30 yesterday, but God, 4 people shot at 345 Park Avenue yesterday. A guy just walks in with a rifle and starts blasting. It's unbelievable. I hate to start a show on this point, but it's just so incredibly shocking and disgusting. I guess nothing should shock me anymore. Nothing should shock me. But this obviously mentally disturbed man, former athlete, not that that matters anyway. I think he played in the CFL too. Uh, just walks in with a rifle, starts blasting away. Anyway, we'll keep you updated on if anything else happens. There's plenty of other NFL news to talk about. Deion Sanders beating bladder cancer. Anyway, we say good morning to Angel Martinez. Good morning, Angel. How are you?
Good morning, Pete. Did you say he came in from Vegas?
No, he was from Las Vegas. He
Oh,
lived
it's
in
almost
Las
okay.
Vegas.
All right.
So,
Yeah, but it still makes you wonder, though. How in the world are you walking down the street with a
I
rifle?
don't know. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It's
just
just
ridiculous. It's
the
absolutely
shame.
ridiculous.
Yep. Just shame the society that we live in today, where it's just it seems like everyone's okay with doing this and doing that, and there's no accountability for it. So we just hope and pray for the families, because I'm pretty sure no one deserves that. No one ever deserves to just die because there's an issue that you may currently have. Yes, mental health is one of those things that a lot of people are dealing with, but at the same time, you don't take out others because you feel that was the right thing to do before you take your own life. So it's insane. I don't get
Commissioner
it.
said in his statement, NFL employees, as has been widely reported, the gunman committed an unspeakable act of violence in the building at 345 Park Avenue. One of the employees was seriously injured in the attack. He's currently in the hospital and in stable condition. NFL staff are at the hospital. The NFL staff are at the hospital, and we are supporting his family. We believe that all of our employees are otherwise safe and accounted for. We are deeply grateful to the law enforcement officers who responded to this threat quickly and decisively, and to Officer Islam, who gave his life to protect others. Police continue to pay close attention to GSOC notices for all available emergency information. These communications allow us to ensure that you are safe. As you know, there are significant resources available to all employees, including grief counselors. Shortly, HR will send you more information on the available resources and how to take advantage of them. Those based in New York should remain work remotely tomorrow. It's understandable if you want to take the day off. There will also be increased security presence at 345 Park Avenue. Every one of you is a valued member of the NFL family, and we will get through this together. That's a statement that was released by Commissioner Goodell, that was obtained by ABC News originally. But so thoughts and prayers. A police officer, off-duty police officer, was shot and killed. It's just amazing to me.
It is. And it doesn't make any sense. And again, so what do you listen? All of us, we all know that Roger Goodell gets booed everywhere he goes. But at the same time, did you think you were just going to go up there and just what was going to prove you shooting and killing him? Yet alone the innocent people, and especially the officer who ended up taking his guarding someone else's life by putting himself in harm's way. It's just I don't know. This world has really gone off the
Well, a
rails.
27-year-old man who allegedly shot and killed 4 people at a Midtown office at 345. So there's more information coming in. In fact, I'm just going to play it. This is from ABC News, and I'll play it from here.
Jessica Chen, she was inside the building when this all played out. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry that you had to endure this today. Can you give us a sense of what you observed?
Yeah, I was part of a room of about 150 people watching a presentation on the second floor large conference room. We heard multiple shots go off in quick succession from the first floor, and a lot of us just rushed into the room. Some went out in the back door, out onto the street. Other people, including me, we ran into the conference room and then eventually barricaded the tables across the doors and just stayed still. I think it was very, very apparent through all this that a lot of us were young. A lot of us went through training in elementary school of what to do in an active shooter situation. We were all unfortunately prepared People called the police. There was somebody who had a direct line with the police, updating them. The police, I think, skipped our floor and kept going up to follow the shooter because they heard that the shooter was going upstairs towards the 33rd. So we didn't get let out until a bit later, but it was very apparent that there was a lot of gun awareness among the room of 100 people still there.
And so what did police tell you?
They told us to stay in, and we were in constant communication about what signals they might give us. Even though they were suspecting that a shooter has gone further upstairs, we were also on Twitter, on apps. There was another rumored shooter out in the garden, so they wanted to stay inside. It was generally very unsure. A lot of us were just scrolling Twitter feeds to get better understanding of the situation. We also heard about the profile of the shooter, though we had no visibility on anything at all.
All right, that's Jessica Chen. She was a witness there. So apparently, this new report's coming in, and this guy had carried a note in his pocket claiming he suffered from CTE and asking that his brain be studied. That's according to police sources told to ABC. Shane Tamura, the police said, has a documented mental health history, played high school football. He's alleged to have shot and killed 4 people, as I said, including an off-duty police officer working security in a Midtown Manhattan office building, 345 Park Avenue. So there's the latest there, but just scary all the way around. Just frightening. Anywho. All right. Let's we'll pivot here. Let's pivot here to MLB. Red Sox last night. And that's a tough pivot, but we're going to do it. And I got a lot of NFL news that does not relate to the shooting from camps and everything else. I was here from Arizona camp, Chicago, Detroit, the Chargers, Minnesota, Mike Vrabel on quarterback Drake May, and a lot more. And we do have football coming up on Thursday, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, between the Chargers and the Detroit Lions. So we'll finally got some football here. All right, let's head to the Diamond yesterday. Last night, the Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins. A very, very interesting. I told you this series scared the bejesus out of me for the Red Sox, and they're still in the 3rd spot for the wild card because Texas lost last night. The Yankees lost to Tampa Bay. Anyway, Minnesota and Boston yesterday. Let's get it going where the Twins take the lead. By the way, Target Field is such a beautiful stadium. I think it's one of my favorite parks in all major leagues. It is absolutely gorgeous to see, because a few thousand people there last night. Really, really sad. Really, really sad because it's a beautiful, beautiful ballpark. All right, bottom of the 3rd we go.
And wheels? What kind of wheels?
Yeah, Kersey, solid contact to left. This one pushing Anthony to the wall and is gone.
Let's go.
Deshaun Kersey Jr., just his 8th hit all year, is a 2-run homer to left, and the Twins take a 2-0 lead.
Happy for this young man.
All right, now, so it's 2-0 Minnesota, but here come the Red Sox. Alex Bregman puts them in the lead, top of the 5th.
Swinging a shot, high and deep, left center field, back there, it's out of here. Alex Bregman with a 3-run bomb. His 2nd big home run in as many days, and the Red Sox are on top. Another Breggy bomb.
Just every night.
All right, thanks to Nesson right there with Dave O'Brien with the call. Before that, Twins TV on the call for Kersey Jr.'s home run. And then the Red Sox take the lead. The game's tied at 3. We head to the top of the 9th inning.
Swing and a base hit into right center. That brings in Hamilton. Roman Anthony with an RBI single, and the Red Sox are on top again, 4-3 in the 9th.
Kid's a real deal, Obi. I know we already knew it, but we're just watching the early stages of a really special career. I mean, this is against one of the best arms in baseball.
Yeah, that put the Red Sox up 4-3, and then the skies opened up. Hicks was warming up. He was warming up, and the grounds crew came out and hustled out the tarp to beat the downpour. Hicks warmed up before the delay, allowed a single to Deshaun Kersey Jr. and a hit to Mickey Gasper, and Will Castro hit them with consecutive pitches. And then this happened in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Brooks Lee with a 1 out, down 0-2. Line to left field, slicing, and that's a fair ball. Twins are going to win this game. Gasper scores, Castro scores, and the Twins win in walk-off fashion. Brooks Lee does it again. 5-4.
Yep, that would be a final 5-4. It's unfortunate that the rains opened up, but tough loss for the Red Sox. Good thing a lot of people lost behind them, so they still retain that third spot. If we could scroll down, Angel, just a couple. Alex Cora last night on the 90-minute rain delay.
Right. Which is always fun. Says no one in baseball. And here we go.
How tough are those disruptions when the game is interrupted like that? You feel like 3 outs away.
Especially where we were bullpen-wise. He got hot before the rain delay and just waited sick, Chappie's down. It was him right there, and not easy to do. So we just turn the page and we got to be ready for tomorrow.
What have you seen from Hicks as of late?
He's been good. But tonight that was uncomfortable in the sense that he got hot and you have to wait all that time, and it was him. So not easy to do. He did try his best, but it just didn't work out.
Do you remember a 9th inning rain delay in all your time in baseball? Something super rare, right?
So what?
A delay in the 9th inning. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do against Mother Nature.
Did you think you guys were gonna resume, or do you think it was going to get suspended?
The way they were talking about it before the game, I knew there was something coming in, and I thought it was going to be longer, and they decided to play it. So it is. You just got to be ready.
All right, there is Alex Cora, manager of the Red Sox. We'll get more into what happened in MLB, the scores from last night. But Ryan Sandberg unfortunately passed away. I know he was sick, had prostate cancer at the age of 65. And here's Tim Kirchin, ESPN, narrates Ryan Sandberg's obituary for ESPN.
I've always been a baseball player. I'm still a baseball player. That's who I am.
There was a certain elegance beyond his greatness and toughness to Cubs Hall of Fame second baseman Ryan Sandberg. There was a regal quality to the way he swung the bat, the way he caught a ground ball, the way he ran the bases, and the way he always carried himself.
Make a great play. Act like you've done it before. Hit a home run. Put your head down, drop the bat, run around the bases. Because the name on the front is a lot more important than the name on the back.
He is one of the greatest defensive second basemen of all time. He won 9 Gold Gloves, second only to Roberto Alomar's 10. Sandberg once held the record for the most consecutive games without an error, 123, by a second baseman, covering 584 chances. No second baseman was better at making the turn on the double play than vanishing before a base runner could crush him. Sandberg became an offensive force in 1984 when Cubs manager Jim Fry convinced him to pull the ball as often as possible.
That was definitely a turning point for me, and I just feel like I've learned what he was talking about. Things have come together the last few years as far as swinging for power.
Sandberg won the National League MVP that year, which included what is known as the Sandberg game.
In a left center field and deep, this is a tie ball game.
On June 23rd against the Cardinals, he went 5 for 6 and hit game-tying homers in the 9th and 10th inning against brilliant closer Bruce Sutter.
Look out! Do you believe it? It's gone!
Leading the Cubs to a 12-11 victory. In 1990, Sandberg led the NL in homers with 40. He would finish with 282. He also stole 344 bases. He and Hall of Famers Joe Morgan and Craig Biggio are the only primary second basemen in baseball history with 250 homers and 300 steals. Indeed, Sandberg could play the piano and move it too. The greatest number 23 in sports history is, of course, Michael Jordan. One of the greatest number 23s in baseball history is another Chicago icon, one of the greatest players in Cubs history, Ryne Sandberg.
That was very good. Very good by Tim Kurchin, remembering the life of and the career of Ryne Sandberg, one of my favorite players of all time. And maybe you know this, maybe you don't, Angel Martinez and you Phillies people out there, but he was drafted by Philadelphia in 1978 in the 20th round. And he made his major league debut in 81, went 1 for 6 in 13 games with the Phillies. And then it was gone down to be one of the most lopsided trades in MLB history, traded to the Cubs with Larry Bowa for veteran infielder Ivan de Jesus. He had 285 with 282 home runs, 1,061 RBIs, and 344 steals in 15 years with Chicago. 10 All-Star teams. He won the home run derby back in 9. This is a second baseman now. You know, the only other second baseman back then that hit like he did was Bobby Grich for the Angels back in the day. So he won the home run derby at 90, collected 9 Gold Gloves. NL MVP, as you heard Tim just say, in 84. He batted .314 with 19 homers, 84 RBI, 32 steals, 19 triples, and 114 runs scored. He won the NL East. The Cubs won the NL East, and Sandberg hit .368 in that series against the Padres, 7 for 19. And that was a crazy series where the Cubs, best of 5 back then. Cubs were up 2-0 and blew it. Padres came back and won the next 3. Everybody remembers Steve Garvey running around first base for the Padres, not the Dodgers. So and as you heard, the Sandberg game, the 84 game, the Sandberg game, when he homered twice, drove in 7 runs in that 12-11 win over St. Louis in 11 innings. So there you have it. The tribute to Ryne Sandberg, unfortunately passed away from prostate cancer at the age of 65. Let's see. Jesse Rogers also talked about how Ryne Sandberg would be remembered.
This is a man who was so beloved in the city of Chicago. How is he going to be remembered?
As a gracious superstar, and I'm sure the Cub players behind me, as this game comes to its completion, will say the same thing. He was often at spring training talking to players, but he didn't big time them. He never showed off that he was a Hall of Fame player. He would listen to them, and he wouldn't tell them how great the game was back in his day. He would actually have that kind of a conversation you'd love to have with a Hall of Famer. Sometimes they say you shouldn't meet your heroes. I don't think anybody my age that grew up in Chicago would agree with that when it comes to Ryne Sandberg. He was somebody you wanted to meet. He played the game the right way. He talked about the game the right way. And as I mentioned, the players behind me and the team and the organization really embraced him before he got ill. And then even while he was fighting cancer, he still showed up at spring training. So as I say, he'll be remembered for what he did on the field.
All right, there you have it, Jesse Rogers. So anyway, Ryne Sandberg, one of my favorite players of all time, passes away at the age of 65. The Cubs also, last night, as we get back to an MLB rundown here, the Cubs also last night fell to the Milwaukee Brewers, and now are. The Brewers have won the division. You're gonna have to forgive me today. This NFL thing is in my head. I'm a little stewed today. I really am. Stuff like that really bothers me. So I'll gain my composure and get back to it at 7:30. But Milwaukee doubles up the Cubs yesterday, 8-4, and they take sole possession of first place.
Into right. That's going to score at least one. Frelick is on the move. Yelich to second, Contreras to third. The Brewers are on the board. Line to right, a base hit. That'll tie the game. Vaughn headed for third. It's a brand new contest in Milwaukee. Fly ball center field. Should be deep enough to score Vaughn. Cole Armstrong has it. Here comes the throw home. Vaughn is in. The Brewers have the lead.
Yeah, 4-run third inning. They go on to beat the Cubs by a score of 8-4. White Sox and Philadelphia Phillies went at it last night as well, and White Sox come away with a W.
2-1. Robert with a high fly ball in the right field corner. Back toward the wall, and this will float over the fence. Robert two-run shot. The White Sox have gotten to Sanchez for two-run homers, and they lead 4-2.
Well, the Sox have told us that they're sitting on fastballs more now than ever before. However, they've hit a couple of changeups out of the.
Yeah, there you have it. Tough loss for the Phillies last night, and in that situation. I do, before we go to break, because I know Angel has to vacate the premises, but we'll be still going on. I got 3 great guests coming up today, and if you did not see it yesterday, Deion Sanders talked about, which nobody knew about battling bladder cancer. So, Angel, if you could, because I want to show the video, you're going to have to go to ESPN and go to NCAA football. Actually, you know what? I'll just play the audio from here. He had a cowboy hat on yesterday and sunglasses, and he was very emotional talking about it as well. University of Colorado football coach Deion Sanders announcing yesterday he underwent surgery to remove his bladder after doctors discovered a tumor there, and Sanders said that since the surgery, there have been no traces of cancer and that he will continue to coach this season. He spoke at the Touchdown Club at the Dalward Athletic Center, and Sanders was both serious in tone as well as celebratory, and even had a little sense of humor about it, but it was a real hit. Here he is. Here's prime time.
I'm pleased to report that the results from the surgery are that he is cured from the cancer.
You can clap, it's okay. Get checked out, because it could have been a whole nother gathering if I had. I'm thankful. It's been a tremendous journey. It's been tough. I think I dropped 25 pounds. I was like a Atlanta Falcon prime at one point, and just dealing with the catheter, dealing with all the stuff that I had to deal with. And right now I'm still dealing with going to the bathroom. Like, it's a whole life change. Like, I can't, and I'm gonna be transparent, I can't pee like I used to pee. It's totally different. It was some scenes that you saw, all the bull junk that transpired on draft day. It wasn't just that. It was just, I knew as well, I had a surgery coming up. My sons, to this day, don't know what transpired. I just told them something with my foot, again, because I wanted them to focus on making the team and not focused on dad. So they really don't know. My daughters do, and this joker right here, much love to my son, Junior, who have not left my side since. And I wanted to be here with my team. I wanted to see the new talent that we brought in. I wanted to see them work, see them train, coach them, and I couldn't. But slowly but surely, I built myself back up to where I'm able, I'm strong, I'm ready. I'm still probably about 12 pounds down. I'm gonna get that right. I'm gonna fill these overalls up like no other. But it has been a tremendous journey, and I'm truly thankful that God is so good. God is so good. You have no idea.
All right, there it is. Deion Sanders right there. Very emotional, a little humor there as well, but glad to see that he has beaten bladder cancer. I can't even imagine what that was, what he was going through. We all know about these lost 2 toes on his feet because of other issues that he's had. And this is unbelievable that he beat bladder cancer. That's really, really serious. You get bladder and pancreatic cancer or anything like that, it is almost certain for curtains. But God bless him, he did it. He did it, and hopefully, knock on wood, that he will continue to be but healthy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture, the video you were talking about on ESPN, and I'm looking at him, and you can definitely tell he lost weight. I mean, it looks. If he didn't have the sunglasses on and probably something else, you probably think that's not Deion.
He said he lost 25 pounds. He said he needs to put another 12. He's put about 13 back on, but he said initially he lost 25 pounds, which is absolutely understandable. Before we get back to the MLB rundown, I'm going to take a break in a minute here. But Bryce Harper says that MLB players will not agree to a salary cap, but the commissioner needs to get the fuck out of the clubhouse. So I understand Rob Manfred goes around to every clubhouse, and I understand how MLB players feel. They're the only ones in the four majors that don't have a salary cap. But I think there's a better way he could have handled it. Now, let me just say this. After all the swearing and cussing, and Manfred did not back down, after everything was said and done, they apparently shook hands in the locker room. All these people who are reporting this story keep leaving that part out. They did shake hands at the end. Whether it was genuine or not, I don't know, but they did. I think there's a better way, though, that Bryce Harper, the great first baseman for the Phillies, could have handled it. You know, because everybody's feeling the same way. I mean, I think I'm sure he was speaking for everybody in Major League Baseball. But anyway, here's Bryce Harper's response. It's from NBC Sports Philly.
Everybody saw the words and everything that happened, but I don't want to say anything more than that. I want to focus on my teammates and our union as a whole, and just worry about winning baseball. I've talked labor, and I've done it in a way that I don't need to talk to the media about it. I don't need it out there. It has nothing to do with media or anybody else. It's what we can as players and owners and everybody else can come together to try to make this game great. So I don't. I've always been very vocal, just not in a way that people can see. I've always been outspoken within these limits of the clubhouse doors and everywhere else. But I don't think necessarily anything should be relayed to media or what happens or what I'm talking about or how everything's going unless Manfred or Tony or somebody else is doing that.
All right, I mean, that's all well and good, but it's just, I think he could have handled it a little bit better. I don't think he could have brought the commissioner off to the side, but he wanted to make some sort of a public statement. And I know, Andrew, you got to go, but real quick, here's Jeff Passan coming up here in a second, and he breaks it all down and what this all means, salary cap moving forward.
So what does this say about the state of the game that a player can basically walk up to the commissioner, curse him out, especially with a new collective bargaining agreement coming up, I want to say, end of 2026?
Yeah, December 1st, 2026. And I think on one hand, Rob Manfred didn't stand there and take it. He shot right back at Bryce Harper and said, I will be in this clubhouse and we will have this conversation. And frankly, these are the difficult conversations that need to be happening in order for labor peace to continue. We all remember the 1994 strike. Canceled the World Series. It was a problem, and there is fear throughout Major League Baseball, both on the player side and at the league, that it is going to go down the same path. Now, Rob Manfred has not said he is going to lock out the players upon the expiration of that collective bargaining agreement, but at the same time, there is the expectation that that's going to happen unless things really change drastically between now and then, particularly if MLB owners insist on a salary cap.
And I think we all remember what happened in that last player strike, how that just...
Well, and then, again, before we go to break, and if you don't remember, if you were too young in 1994, it was freaking awful. The Blue Jays were back-to-back World Series champions, 92, 93. They were really good in 94 again, as were the Montreal Expos. They were probably the two best teams in baseball. And once that strike happened in 94, it took about 10 years for Major League Baseball to recover. It really did. And especially in a great baseball city like Toronto, where fans just said, screw you people. That's it. It took a long time for fans to go back to Toronto and a lot of other places. So if there's going to be any kind of lockout coming up before this collective bargaining agreement gets done, hopefully there won't be. I don't know. You think it was bad in 94? It'll be way worse this time because baseball is not as popular in many cities as it was even back in 1994. So we shall see. All right, Angel. I know you have to go quickly. Phil Castanetti, Sports World in Saugus, Mass. is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. So get on down there to 184 Broadway in Saugus. Call 781-233-7222 for more information. 781-233-7222 for more information. Sports World in Saugus. Be there. All right, a break. When we come back, some more MLB and NFL news from camp that we will tell you about as well. Trevor Harris from WQAM at 8:05 this morning. Bill Burt, the Eagle Tribune, heading down to Patriots camp at 8:30. And at 9:05, Joe Zagacki, the world-famous play-by-play voice for the Miami Hurricanes. All things Miami Hurricanes. Football, baseball, basketball. If there was a hockey team, he'd be doing that too. All part of the Pete Sheppard Show here on a terrific Tuesday here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work. but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Swinging a shot, high and deep left center field, back there, it's out of here. Alex Bregman with a 3-run bomb. Brooks Lee with 1 out, down 0-2. Line to left field, slicing, and that's a fair ball. Twins are going to win this game. Gasper scores, Castro scores, and the Twins win and walk off fashion. Brooks Lee does it again. 5-4.
Oh, tough one for the Red Sox last night. I knew it was going to be a tough series against the Twins. The rain did not help last night. Welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. Brooks Lee, that 2-run single off Jordan Hicks at the bottom of the 9th inning. Twins come back and beat the Sox 5-4 after Roman Anthony put the Red Sox in front with an RBI single off Twins closer Johan Duran. In the top of the 9th, the grounds crew came out, hustled down to the field. There was a hour-and-a-half rain delay. It was awful. Hicks had warmed up, and then he came back in and allowed a single to Deshaun Kersey Jr., and then hit Mickey Gasper and Will Castro on consecutive pitches in case you fell asleep. With 1 out, Lee then delivered, as you just heard, his 3rd walk-off hit this season with a slap the other way. There were a few hundred fans who were left soaking wet, by the way, at Target, which is a beautiful field. Just not a lot of people go to it. It's just too bad because I think it's one of my favorite stadiums. I've never been to. I haven't been there, but just watching on TV, it's just it looks like a gorgeous park. Anyway, it is the Pete Sheppard Show. Trevor Harris, WQAM, coming up at 8:05. I'm a little decked out in my my Hurricane gear today. I'm gearing up for college football. Joe Zagacki at 9:05, the play-by-play voice for the Hurricanes, longtime play-by-play voice. And Bill Burt from the Eagles Tribune. In between that, at 8:30 down at Patriots camp, we'll get his take on NFL and the Red Sox trading deadline, again, approaching Thursday at 6 o'clock. All right. Let's take a look around. Let's go around camps, shall we? NFL camps, that is. Let's just go in alphabetical order here. As my friends from Total Sports Prep, and by the way, for the best articles and audio, there's only one source that provides everything you need 365 days a year to satisfy your sports crave, and it is Total Sports Prep. The staff combs through the best articles and audio so you don't have to. Sports and non-sports kicker stories will leave you laughing all day long. To get your free trial of Total Sports Prep, contact them, info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. That's info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. Total Sports Prep, the name says it all. All right, let's start with Carolina. Hunter Renfrow on the Panthers' wide receiver depth.
We have a really good group. I think we have a really talented group. It's the deepest I've ever been around. We have, 7 or 8 guys that comfortably can go out there and play, and then a lot of young guys that are proven they can. And so, like I was talking about Clemson, it just pushes you. It pushes you every day. I think, the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron, iron sharpen iron, and that's what it is. And hopefully we can do that every day, and then the other people we have out there can see that and be inspired from that and go out there and make every day the best we can. So
there's a lot of people across ESPN and NFL Network that think the Carolina Panthers are going to surprise some teams this year. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All depends on the quarterback. Let's head to Chicago, where Jaquan Brisker is excited to be utilized in a lot of different ways in Dennis Allen's defense.
I'm in a lot of different packages, so I'm studying other positions too. So, which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I've been waiting for so long, but now here it goes. So, yeah, I'll say that, which is good for me. Just show that I could just play everywhere and that I can make plays anywhere on the field. So they see it, so it'll come. Yeah, just different roles. I'm gonna be close to the line of scrimmage. Sometimes I'm gonna be back. But I love being closer to the line of scrimmage. So just have me anywhere where you got to account for me, trying to see where I'm at and things like that. Just like Ben said the other day, you got to know where 9 is, and that's true. So, yeah, I'll say I'll be close. I'll be in the back. I might be outside corner. I might be in the slot. You never know.
All right, now let's move on. John Gruden from the Detroit Sports Podcast talked about Jared Goff and actually compared him to Joe Montana.
And David Shaw and Mark Brunell, Bruce Gradkowski, they all were with me at some point in time, Marcus Tuiasosopo, so it's cool to see him out there working, and I have no doubt that the Lions are in good hands on offense.
What does John lean on you for?
Nothing. I'm just a fan. I'm a fanboy now, really. I just want to see him work. I've always enjoyed watching coaches coach during this time of year. This is coach's time now. You got to get your guys ready to play, and I know he's having to learn what they did last year, and there's part of that involved. He's also got to add some of his stuff, and it's just a process. I'm just here to support it.
What's your assessment? Very effusive early on, speaking about you and what he learned from you. What does it mean to kind of be the mentor to him, the student, and to see the success? And did you ever have a doubt that he would get to where he is?
Well, that's what this business is all about. I had a lot of people help me, and if he benefited by being around me a little bit, I'm happy to hear that. But he is a hard-working guy. For all the Detroit fans, what you don't see is the work ethic that you're getting. This guy's nuts. People thought I was nuts. This guy is freaking nuts, man. He loves it. He's a creative guy. He's a great competitor. And I can't wait to see the Lions open up the season.
What do you think his offense is going to do? What are the staples of?
Well, a lot of compressed formations. I mean, he was here. He was here with Ben Johnson before. He helped put the offense in initially. So, Jerry's going to do a lot at the line of scrimmage. You're going to hear RCE a lot. I used to have hats made, recognition, leads to communication. And if we can do that, we're going to execute at a high level. But I think RCE is the slogan that you're going to hear a lot around here and probably feel like you're seeing a lot. You're going to see a lot of pre-snap movement where you're trying to recognize what's going on, and then you're going to see communication, and then you'll see Gibbs, and you'll see St. Brown and Laporta execute at a high level. I have a feeling.
For the past couple of years, you've watched Jared Goff. What's been your assessment of him, a quarterback now entering his prime?
I had Jared on my show when I was doing quarterback shows. I just got to meet his dad and his mom, and I hate to throw comparisons out, but the continuous movement that he plays with, he always remind me of Montana from the days I was, with the 49ers. And
yeah, high praise right there. Meanwhile, John Morton, Detroit offensive coordinator, hyping up his offense.
The one thing that's impressed me is all these weapons. Man, I'm just trying to get the guy's balls as much as I can. But I just think the overall, the grit, their attitude, because it's been hard mentally. I want to see where they're at, and they've responded. We got a smart, tough football team. That's the way this thing is built, and I'm real happy with where we're at right now.
All right, let's move on. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel and his quarterback Drake May. This from SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Let's jump to Drake May for a minute. What are you learning about the guy?
Young, talented. I think he gets better every day. He learns something new every day. The leadership is the more command that he has with Josh and the offense, I think, has really allowed him to be more vocal, put guys in the right spot, control it, and orchestrate it. And I've seen that each and every day. Today will be another, big step for us.
All right, that's Pat Kerwin, also of SiriusXM NFL Radio. Does a great show, good friend of mine. Pat Kerwin, along with Jim Miller. Meanwhile, yesterday, also talking about Drake May, Peter Schrager is doing a great job in this transition from the NFL Network over to ESPN. He had high praises for Drake May as well.
I hear Drake May is absolutely wonderful so far also.
Again,
it's early. These might not be surprises, but when you get year 2 leaps, it means they spent the offseason working. And this is to Pop Douglas here. I'm telling you, the juice out of Patriots camp right now about Drake May is very real, and they'll bring it down because it's back to that old school style. It's Vrabel, it's McDaniels, it's a lot of those guys, and they're not going to pump up their quarterback. But Drake May came ready to play. Drake May came ready to work, And I would just say, don't be shocked if we see a year 2 giant leap from Drake May.
They're favored in what, 11 games?
11 games, yeah.
I mean, the sports books think that they're going to be good too. And Vrabel just wins.
Yeah.
That's why whenever he was released or fired from the Titans, we were all surprised. Him going back to New England, storybook shit up there.
Really is. Like, actually, genuinely is. He goes into the Ring of Honor, and he's one of the most beloved Patriots of all time. When you talk about, the history of the Patriots and where they were and what has happened these last 5 years, when you think about what they were, Mike Vrabel is one of the first 5 guys that pops into your head.
Look at those calves, AJ. That guy's still working.
It's a sneaky himbo step this morning, too.
What was that? Yeah. Most
Defensive player with the most touchdowns, I believe.
receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, I thought
because the Fridge, I think, had a few there for a while.
yeah. Fridge,
so this
JJ.
was most receiving touchdowns. Maz got it right.
That'll probably get broken this year, though, because allegedly Bubby Spillane's he's not coming off the field.
Well, Travis Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
Would be the person.
Yeah. So it's going to be Travis Hunter and Bob Spillane kind of.
Bo Mel.
All right, there you have it. Good stuff there by the Pat McAfee show. Yeah, and Vrabel had a lot of those receiving touchdowns in Super Bowls. Many of them. All right, let's continue here across NFL camp. Let's see who is next. Let's go to Houston. DeMeco Ryans on Joe Mixon's injury and questions the media on if they actually care when players get hurt.
About Joe Mixon. Well, what changed as far as the diagnosis?
Yeah, nothing's changed with Joe. Joe is still working, in the background. I know we get reports about Joe. Nothing's changed. He's still working. Whenever it's time for Joe to be back, he'll be back. Right? I know a lot of people want to report a lot of things about guys with injuries. My thing is are you really concerned about our guys? Or are you really just trying to get something out there, right? And for me, I always put my players' health and safety first and foremost. So I care about the guys, so you guys don't hear me talking a lot about injuries because that's their personal information. Guys are working through that, and it's nothing to report or get in an uproar about. Like, our guys are working, and it's always sensitive to me because I've been there. I've went through that. So it's not just to report something. Like, I want people here who truly care about our guys. I care about our guys and what they're doing throughout their process, and it'll continue to be that way.
I mean, Coach, come on, man. I get what you're saying, but geez, you want reporters not to report about injuries? You want them to care about it? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people do care. I know I care. I know most of the people that cover these NFL teams, they care. What do you want them to do? Go visit them in the hospital? I mean, there's only so much you can do. Are they supposed to do in parentheses? Yes, I feel very badly that your player got hurt on this. Come on, man. That's not realistic. That's crazy. Kansas City offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, sorry, flaky boy there, Aaron Rodgers, on the leap Xavier Worthy has taken and what Worthy can do to get to the next level. This is from the Chiefs webpage.
I asked Xavier Worthy yesterday about the game slowing down for him and if it had started, the concept shed. He said it started at the end of last season. Are you seeing any carryover from last game to Super Bowl to right now?
100%. And I think you felt it probably 3/4 through the season last year. When he showed up in OTAs this year, he would come over to me a lot and just kind of talk through now what he's seeing on the second level with defense, not what we're doing. You know what I mean? So, like, if we break the huddle, these guys right now, these young, like Royals right now, he's trying to think, where do I line up? He's not seeing the defense right now. That's okay. That's normal. Xavier was there. Rasheed was there before. Now they're level 101, 202, 303. Xavier's 202 right now, in my opinion. And so he's seeing the coverages. He's seeing leverages. When you put his talent with breaking the huddle, seeing the defense, and now executing, now the next part is the timing with Pat, and that's what we're working on in camp.
All righty. Let's see. Let's go to the Rams camp. Head coach Sean McVay with a great story behind the Jared Verse and Aaron Donald workout. This from SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Jared Verse may not be able to lift his arms to knock down a pass after the tell everybody about the workout.
Well, so that was a few weeks ago. Hopefully he's not still sore from that. But I do remember, it was great. They were going back, he and Aaron going back and forth on social media. And, I never, you guys will get a kick out of this. So the next team meeting, guys were aware of it. I said, hey, how many people have seen Jared and Aaron Donald going at it on social media about who can work out and with each other. And they all kind of raised their hand. And Verse sits in the front left of the team meeting room. I said, all right, hey, everybody welcome Aaron Donald. And he looked like he was going to himself. And he wasn't really there yet. But what I respect about Jared is he followed up.
Yeah.
He went over to Aaron's house. This guy works out like a maniac that we know. He still loves it. He likes to look good, take good care of himself. And they FaceTime me in the middle of the workout. Aaron was smiling and Verse was in the corner dying. But I love the fact that he went. He ended up, I said, hey, I respect that you went over there. He goes, I'm not talking to legends anymore.
All right, couple more here before we go to break. Brian Flores, DC for the Minnesota Vikings on J.J. McCarthy.
And I think J.J.'s done a great job. I really do. I think he's got real good command of the offense. I think he's throwing the ball really well. I think he's doing a lot of nice things, and I've liked watching him improve. That's good for everybody.
You think the Miami Dolphins are killing themselves right now, or are questioning everything Stephen Ross and company because they let Brian Flores go as head coach for Charlie Brown, Mike McDaniel, because Brian Flores didn't, he might have yelled at Tua Tagovailoa a little bit too much. He was a little sensitive about it. What an idiotic move by the Dolphins. They get exactly what they deserve. Last place this year, Charlie Brown, that idiot, coaching that team. Lastly, is Giants head coach Brian Daboll, who I also believe is on the hot seat. With the Cam Scatterboo's instincts. This is from Giants TV.
You talk about the instincts with Scat.
Yeah.
Did the vision kind of pop off when you watched him on film? He seems to have real good vision.
Yeah.
Is that something that popped off for you when you were watching him?
He has there's not many times, at least that I've seen him here just in a short time or even on tape, like why is he going where he's going? He's got good feel for the blocking assignments up front, but then he's got good vision for the second level and at times the third level of when to press the ball, when to cut it back, when to keep it front side. He's got a long way to go, rookie, but another young player that has been encouraging in the meetings and then out in the practice fields, both in walkthrough and practice.
Going to be really, really interesting this year. Giants and Dallas Cowboys, two very, very interesting teams. They could be pretty good to very good, or it could be a disaster, but we shall see. All right, quick break here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Network. Then guest galore coming up. Trevor Harris after the top of the hour from WQAM in Miami. Bill Burt from the Eagle Tribune. And Joe Zagacki, longtime play-by-play voice for the Miami Hurricanes, coming up at 9:05 as well. All part of the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one small step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So, wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
The Pete Sheppard Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
I love Coach Evans. He's a great teacher.
Hey, welcome back to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. It's time for our weekly visit. A little early this week because I'm off Thursday and Friday. It's Trevor Harris from WQAM over there yonder across Alligator Alley, where it's also 95 degrees and warm. Good morning, Trevor. How are you?
Good morning. We got to start off with RIP to the best second baseman in my lifetime, Ryan Sandberg, passing away late last night. I don't know if you saw that, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talked about it early in the show. No question about it. And what he did, if you're just a fan of sports, if you're a fan of baseball, there's nobody I know that's ever said a bad word about Ryan Sandberg. Guy is absolutely unbelievable what he accomplished for a second baseman. The power numbers. People forget he won the home run derby in 1990
at Wrigley Field.
And besides, for me, Bobby Grich at second base for the Angels back in the day when he was alive, he was a big guy, bigger than Ryan Sandberg. But Sandberg was just, I don't ever remember him doing anything wrong. I mean, he just was unbelievable. Just a shame the Cubs blew the 2-0 lead against the Padres in '84. You weren't even born yet.
Nope,
but,
I wasn't a thought yet. I always say I was in the.
You were not even. But I remember that series. I still remember Garvey coming around first base, and Dennis Eckersley was on that. Pitched on that team, and Big Lee Smith back then. And it's hard to believe the Cubs blew a 2-0 lead and lost the next three. It was best of 5 back then. But anyway,
yeah.
The only thing he was missing was a World Series. Great guy.
Made the playoffs twice. 84, 89, 89. They lost to the Gigantes. So and Will Clark.
Yeah.
Hammer. I still see that home run going still by Will Clark anyways. So.
Well, he was unbelievable in the postseason. I mean, Sandberg was batted like 367 in the postseason.
Yeah.
So he didn't miss a beat.
No, he did not miss a beat. He was unreal anyways. So sad day. I was watching the Brewers game and I had a weird feeling going up. They saw Hoyer was on a couple of days ago. And I was like, okay, something's up here. So then
he'd been battling prostate cancer. People knew he was battling it.
I knew he was wrong, but they had Hoyer on a while ago, earlier this week on one of the games. I was like, okay. Saying something about Sandberg, like, okay, this is not going to be good soon. And I also saw by this, if you ever go by, if someone's about to die soon, especially on Mitchell and Ness, all their stuff goes sold out pretty quickly.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, looking at someone on Mitchell and Ness, like, oh, this is a sign anyways. So that's my other thing. So. That's how I
and then your Cubs last night lost to Milwaukee, and now the Brewers are back in first place.
I know.
But that's going to be a battle down there. Brewers are playing really, really good ball. The Cubs are playing decent ball as well.
They took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. They should have swept them. So that's my little thing. At least
the Phillies lost to the White Sox last night too.
Welcome to the club, Philly. We lose to the South Side. The Mets, the New York Mets version of the Chicago baseball team. That's called the White Sox.
Speaking of the Mets, just the Mets lost also, and I didn't get to play this yet, but the Mets
in San Diego.
They also lost in where is it? Don't they have the game winning hit?
Yeah, it was San.
Oh, there it is. There we go. This is how the Mets lost last night to San Diego.
Line to left center field. It's in for a base hit. Here comes Iglesias around. The throw is up the line. Padres walk it off. Elias Diaz drives it in.
Don Orsillo having a baseball orgasm, formerly of Messi.
Wow.
I can hear my buddy Jay Flanley from Ann Arbor because earlier in the game it was all Mets.
So now the merry-go-round will be in motion. 3-2 to Vientos, and he flies one out to right field. This one's deep. Back goes Tatis. This one's at the wall. It's out of here. Mark Vientos with an opposite field grand slam. Tatis couldn't catch this one. Vientos with another king-sized hit, and the Mets lead it 5-1 in the fifth.
Yeah, but in the end, 7-6 Padres.
Yeah.
And they were down 5-1, as you heard, and they came all the way back.
So I've been to so many Padre games growing up because my dad does not like the New York crowd. I saw Pedro Martinez pitch for the Mets versus Chan-Ho Park in 2005 at Petco Park. And that's also the first ballpark I went to a baseball game alone, by the way.
Pedro Martinez pitching for them in 2005.
Yeah, for the Mets.
No. Pedro Martinez?
Yes, Pedro Martinez. The Pedro Martinez. He played for the Mets in 05.
Oh, that's right. I'm thinking, oh my God, yeah. Completely forget about that.
I know. People.
It wasn't long. It wasn't long.
I tell this to people. I was like, I saw Pedro Martinez pitch for the Mets versus Chan-Ho Park. And I always say, like, that Mets Padres series is always a New York crowd. Seeing all the sad New Yorkers is probably my favorite thing of all time. When Pedro Martinez was like, we're going to dominate the Padres. Like, sure, bud. And lo and behold, the Padres dominated the Mets 8-4.
Unbelievable. All right, I'm just going to see something real quick. And, yeah, he was with the Mets for 3. God, is that, you talk about a blackout, hysterical amnesia. I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch him pitch for the Mets.
It was a weird sight. I always say that. I always say, like, there's a few weird sights. Like, for me, it's like Kerry Wood pitching for the Cleveland Baseball Club or the New York Yankees is one for me. Pedro Martinez playing for the Mets and the Phillies is one for me anyways.
Well, I'm looking at it, and then for me, Wade Boggs riding on a horse at Yankee Stadium, when they won the World Series was the most disgusting thing. But he signed a 4-year, $53 million deal with the Mets. He went 15-8 in 05 with a 2.82 ERA, 208 strikeouts.
Yep.
Then in 2006, at the end of May, he was 5-1 with a 2.5 ERA and 88 strikeouts, 17 walks, 44 hits. And then
got injured.
Then during his May 26th start against the Marlins, he was instructed by the umps to change his undershirt. He slipped in the corridor, injuring his hip and his promising season. I forgot about that. So, wow. And then, but after the beginning of June 6th, he went 4-7 with a 7.1 ERA. So that was sort of the beginning of but imagine that. They told him that, I can't remember why they had this. He was sweating. I don't know why they asked him to change his shirt.
That's so weird.
They did.
That seems like Arthur Rose, like an umpteen yelling at Arthur Rose was like, take off the earrings, please, at least. I don't know if you remember that.
They used to, anything that distracts a pitcher, you couldn't wear chain. Now they're much more liberal about it. Let him wear jewelry and stuff. But you couldn't do that, especially pitchers on the mound. Because if the sun ever reflected off a pitcher's jewelry or chains on the mound, it would, immediately the batter would say, no, enough of that.
Yeah, Omar Vizquel got really mad about it. It was like the wildest fight of all time, anyways.
All right, what is that? So let's start with the Miami Dolphins again. Every week we talk about the Miami Dolphins for like 30 seconds because nothing seems to be happening. There's absolutely no buzz around this team at all. I haven't even heard Mike McDaniel speak. Have you?
I have. I'm actually going to send you stuff right now, actually.
Can you?
I will say this about Mike McDaniel. I usually listen to a lot of his stuff anyways, and it's just like, I get bored really quickly. I just sent it, by the way, your way. And like only people that talk the most is like Minka Fitzpatrick's been talking. maybe you'll see Tua, and like it's just like, yeah, it's just like, what are we doing here? It's like they're trying to sell you hope. That's what the Miami Dolphins are trying to do, and I'm like, as someone who knows the hope salesman way too much, I could smell it's bullshit anyways. And this Dolphins one, I'm not trying to sell anyways. So,
all right, I gotta play. I'm gonna play something. I just got your email. I appreciate that.
No problem. I thought I sent it last night, but I guess it didn't.
No, you didn't. I wish. That's okay. But let's. I gotta download it first.
Yeah. So, yeah, he talked yesterday, so it was just there's a lot.
I'm gonna play it right now. Give me a second here.
Yeah, I know one thing they brought in is they brought in Mike Hilton and a few other corners because Artie Burns tore his ACL. That was not the on the first day of camp. I don't know if you saw that, Pete, at all.
No.
Yeah, Artie Burns was who's one of the corners they signed. He's out for the year. Mike Hilton they brought off the streets. Who I like to say.
Oh yeah, I know Burns off for the I know.
Yeah, so they brought in Mike Hilton a couple days ago. And I was like,
we're kind of it's a day to day. We're kind of it's a day.
I gotta have my music. It's just Whoop! No. There we go.
We're kind of it's a day-to-day evaluation with some swelling. So we're a couple evaluations away from in the next couple days. So we're really just taking it day-to-day and see where it's at. But good spirits and the team's good.
They're concerned there could be something sidelined this season.
I mean, if there would be concern, it would be completely made up. There's quite literally, I don't have the information to lean in anyway, so I'm optimistic that I know nothing.
Good God Almighty! There's just nothing that motivates you to go through. I want to get. That was on Patrick Paul. Oh no, that was not on Patrick Paul. That was on. I want to get to the cut with Minkah Fitzpatrick. Did you? I say these are not. They're there, but I can't tell which cuts are which.
Okay.
I want to find the happy Minkah Fitzpatrick got it.
728. That is the. Give me a second. It's the second one from the top, actually. So
second one from the top on the left or the right side.
Oh,
because I got 6 attachments. Oh, you know what? I'll just download all of them. Hang on a second.
Just download them all. They're all delayed.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, a little behind. Yeah. All right. So there's that. Now give me a second here. Let me.
Yeah, happy for Minster that got a deal done when he's not complaining about anything. I'll say this about the Dolphins. Like I looked at it when they traded him the first time. I never got the point of it. Like when you see trades that get traded, it's like, why would you trade him? I know you're trying to tank that year. Am I right? Like
okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, now that this is better labeled. Okay, here's the cut about Minkah.
I understand, or I really understand the individual players. I'm heavily invested in each and every guy, so I get pumped anytime.
Oh yeah,
business happens. I get even more pumped when the specific individual shows me, doesn't talk to me, but shows me that he understands the critical factor in professional football, and that.
That's enough of that cut. I just can't do it. I can only get through so much. It is so bad.
Think about listening to him every day, anyways.
Jesus.
This is why I like listening to Cristobal. At least he shows some passion and emotion. At least that's what I always say. But lately, it's just McDaniel guys like.
All right, and
he's going to be the perfect person he's going to see working at a hotel at in the Keys probably, or at Fort Myers Beach at least. I could see him doing that after his football career.
All right, now where's it? You got the list of so he has a couple of bites about Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Quinn Ewers benefiting from being around Zach Wilson and Tua. Quinn Ewers is growing every day.
Here we go.
But I think the whole quarterback room in general, I think Quinn's really benefited from Zach really developing. And and then on top of that, Tua leads the charge. So I think those guys are all pushing each other to grow as players, and I think realistically, Quinn's development is all him, but it's as much as coaching and from the quarterback coaches and Zach and Tua is him.
All right, here's more from Mike on Quinn Ewers.
Yeah,
Quinn Ewers is doing great. Rookies develop at different speeds, but regardless of their development, I think with Quinn, it starts with a quarterback's a leader of men, and he has.
Write that down.
You can tell he has there's a personality trait within him that really teammates gravitate to. So doing well with that, because I bring that up because as a rookie, a lot of times it's hard to see those things because rookies, it's embedded in failure. You mess something up to learn something, and you guys kind of get quiet and lose their confidence. Quinn has learned, very smart, really starting to grasp timing.
Talks about leader of men. Unfortunately, Mike McDaniel, you are not. Not for my taste anyway. You talk about not running through a brick wall for somebody.
No.
I don't know.
Can I say one thing about Quinn Ewers?
Yeah.
Learn from Tua. Don't learn from what Zach Wilson does. Unless you want to learn how to go through the streets of Boca and Fort Lauderdale, then you learn from Zach Wilson.
And what's this other cut? Mike McDaniel, wear things. What's that about? Because I don't have the other. It cuts off at
things
where.
with Cater Kohu injury.
All right. What about the one Patrick Paul?
Patrick Paul is impressive so far. You played that earlier, so
I played that earlier. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this last one.
We're kind of it's a day-to-day evaluation with some swelling. So we're a couple evaluations away from in the next couple days. So we're really just taking it day-to-day and see where it's at. But good spirits, and the team's good.
They're concerned that it could be something that could sideline him into the season.
If there would be concern, it would be completely made up. There's quite literally, I don't have the information to lean anyway, so I'm optimistic that I know nothing.
We're gonna have a field day.
I know nothing.
That's a drop already. I know nothing.
Right out of Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing.
I know nothing. I know.
All right,
nothing.
that's enough of Charlie Brown there. Thank you, I appreciate it. Anything you could send me on a daily basis from him is great. So you had to sit there and cut all that up.
Brendan Tobin does it. I usually listen to see if I want to listen to it, or I usually send it to you anyways. Because I know it will be used gratefully with you anyways. So.
Yeah, it will be. But that takes a lot of guts to sit through a press conference like that and then have to cut it up.
Yeah. I had to cut up 2 years ago Zach Thomas's first media availability since he retired.
That had to be good.
That was good. I always say this. That went like 40 minutes, by the way. And I will say this. The most 40 minutes of fun, 40 minutes plus cutting up that audio was a lot of fun, actually. Zach Thomas, I could listen to talk. Mike McDaniel, I can't listen to him talk. Or Tua, usually.
And look, not everybody's a great communicator. I get it. A lot of people, hated Belichick's press conferences. But if you don't know him outside the room, and it's finally come to fruition that if you don't, I was fortunate enough to be him at social occasions many times, and also being a part of myself and Glenn and Steve and Freddie interviewing him once a week for over a decade and for half an hour. It was much different than you saw. Anyway, here's Kevin Clark on the state for ESPN, the state of the Miami Dolphins. See if you agree.
But here's the deal. You can be soft if you're fast and efficient and you complete deep balls like you did 2 years ago. The problem is that's not happening anymore. That's the biggest issue, is that is not happening anymore. So you get the deep ball back, you work that back. Tua uses his completion percentage and his accuracy and then the quick game and all that stuff. You build that up. But for me, I'm looking at this team and I'm saying, I think the best thing you can have is a DeLorean to go back to 2 years ago and redo that, because that was the window.
Close.
That's when they had genuine pass rush. That's when in October and November of that season, Peter, they were the most fun team to watch.
They put 70 points up on Denver.
And they had genuine pass rush. They were built for 2 years ago. Now they have the fewest amount of rookie contract guys in the entire league. They are the epitome of an aging roster with a ton of veterans. They may have just missed the window on this era, guys.
I mean, you talk about they haven't won a playoff game since 2000, 0 for 5 since. They can't beat anybody over 500. They're 3-14 under Charlie Brown coaching. And I can't see how they don't finish in last place. I don't see them winning more than five, 6 games. I just don't.
We have the Jets there for a reason, so it's gonna be third. It's fighting for third, anyways. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I literally I've told this a few Dolphin fans, like, get ready for third place, because I don't see you guys, the Dolphins, going up against beating Buffalo on a short week, or beating New England, because I think that New England team is gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they may punch you in the mouth a little bit, because Mike Vrabel knows how to beat up the Miami Dolphins no matter what. So
yeah, but one thing about Charlie Brown, he's had the Patriots number again. This is a totally different set of circumstances. Tua has two, and a big part of it. He's like 6-1 or 7-1 or whatever the hell it is. It's ridiculous. Some of the games the Patriots gave away, but nevertheless, you tip my hat to Miami for that. There's no getting around that. They've had, but that's going to change this year, and especially that they have to come up north for the first time in a while, late in the season, to play the Patriots. So that's ultimate doom when the temperature is 40 degrees or less. It's like what Tampa Bay used to be back in the day.
Especially when they had to go to the vet and they finally broke that. So I think the last time they played up there was like 2019, I believe.
Yeah, that late in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I was going to Eagles Giants. So the division was on the line. I was listening to that on the car ride down, see what was going on. That was crazy anyways. So.
All right. Lastly, so I got your boy Joe Z coming up at 9:05 this morning.
My guy,
the voice of the Miami Hurricanes, whether it be football, basketball, or baseball. If they had a hockey team, he'd be doing that too.
Oh yes. I always say this. Like, there's some colleges that need college hockey. University of Miami. I know you have a lot of Northeast kids, and you guys should just get a club team or just do that.
Hey, if Arizona State can have a team, they can have it.
If Arizona State can have one, then you guys should have no problem doing it. Like, you should, this is my funny joke I always say. Just go use the Panthers rink when they're on a road trip. Come on, just play your club games there.
Screw that. Build one on campus. I can't build a football stadium on campus. Maybe they can build a hockey rink. I still can't believe that the U doesn't have a softball team. That's
a violation.
Floors me that a school in Florida doesn't have a softball team.
Yeah, that's
a big school in Florida doesn't have a softball team. I really don't get it. Drop something else if you have to. There's too much talent. How about that Lakeview Little League team?
Yeah,
girls and boys, right?
They're
go. Outside Orlando. They just kick ass again.
That's awesome. This is the time of the year when people say, like, well, ESPN's bad. Like, no, ESPN has good programming. It's Little League World Series on. There's actually sporting content on. So.
Yeah. No, I love watching the girls softball and the boys Little League. It's a lot of fun. I'm not sure. All I know is Lakeview's in it for the boys and the girls so far, at least in the districts and all that stuff. I know Lakeview won the state championship. At least the girls did. I'm not sure about the boys, but there's a lot of talent. Of course, I always root for the New England teams. As well. And somehow they play in the Mid-Atlantic region now and not the Northeast. It's all screwed up.
So I had people who in the softball tourney back in the day. I had friends who played on the 05 Orange, Connecticut team, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. I knew some people on that team. I was like, this is kind of funny. It was wild.
Well, I remember the league. I remember Trumbull, Connecticut, winning the whole thing.
Chris Drury, how we doing?
Chris Drury. Great hockey player, obviously. But, yeah, there was a lot. And, I remember when Cody Webster, I think that was his name, the pitcher for Washington back in the day, and the United States finally beat Taiwan.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like unbelievable. ESPN did a 30 for 30 about it as well.
I think they had to anyway.
Yeah. All right, last thing. So the Dolphins are not getting a whole lot of buzz. I'm sure. I'm sure the Hurricanes people are waiting. We're just about a month away from the Hurricanes taking on Notre Dame at Hard Rock.
I will say this: so the Dolphins have to go do joint training camps with the Bears and the Lions back-to-back weeks. By the way,
up there,
up in Chicago, up in Detroit. Then they're home for one home game for preseason against the Jaguars and stuff. So you'll see more there. I will say this: the most hyped team of all time right now is the Chicago Bears. If you don't,
I
for
agree.
real.
I agree. And look, there's potential there, and obviously getting rid of Eberflus. I mean, he's a joke.
That he's an all-time moron head coach in the Upper Bowl podcast, moron head coaches Hall of Fame. By the way, he's a candidate. By the way,
yeah. Just absolutely, he was a horrible coach. So I mean, they should be better. I don't know how they can be worse. They should be better under that coaching staff, absolutely. But yeah, everybody's overhyped. At least the Patriots are starting to get some love from some of the national people. I think people realize that they're going to be a 9-win team at least, and maybe even a 10-win team. I think they're going to be a playoff team because of that schedule and because of
I need the Boston fan to be loud again. I really do. I need the Patriot fan to be back, especially I know week 2 is very hard for the Patriot fans to come down to Miami. I need the Patriot fan to be in this Dolphins face again. I really do. Anyways, tell them who's boss of this division.
All right, my man. What else? What do you got going on?
Upper Bowl podcast. We're doing divisional previews. We did AFCs last week. We are going to do the NFC North with my buddy Jake Rietma, and we may do the NFC West too with a guest to be determined right now. So check
I'm
your
trying
local
to find
listing.
somebody to talk me out of not picking Baltimore again to get to the Super Bowl. They got to. I mean, the team is so incredibly talented. This might be. I say this every year, and this year again, I think Baltimore. I mean, Lamar Jackson might have the most talented squad he's ever had. He's got to win some playoff. Got to get there.
He needs to learn not how to choke. That is the thing. He needs to learn not how to choke anyways.
All right, Trevor. Great stuff.
Take care. We'll see you next week.
I'll absolutely see you next week. There he goes. Trevor Harris from WQAM in Miami. Thanks for sending that sound as well. As we transition over just like that into the one and only Bill Burt joining me from the Eagle Tribune here on the Coastal Sports Hour. Good morning, Billy. How are you?
How you guys doing? We're getting ready for Florida weather today. 90 degrees and muggy.
Yeah, well, it's 96 degrees. It feels about like 106, but humidity's down to like 54%, which is always good. So, did you fall asleep last night like I did during the rain delay? I fell asleep.
Yeah, that was
tough.
yeah, I did, but I sort of not.
I said this before that this series was good. Out of really not the Dodgers, this series, I think I talked about this last week, scared the bejesus out of me. And this is the kind of fluky loss I didn't want to see happen.
Yeah, it's this is tough, Pete, because now I don't overreact or underreact to wins and losses. But the win over the big win, the final win over the Phillies was huge.
Huge.
That, in my opinion, was sort of a game changer, and it set the tone for what the next month and a half should be. Then the Dodgers, they had a tough loss to open the series and came back with 2 tough wins. But in my opinion, just good baseball. And, a couple big hits. Bregman had another one last night. Same thing. So this is, though, different. Now we're getting – the trade deadline's here. So now this loss will lose some luster based on what's going to happen the next day or two. Hicks, you just can't trust the guy. And you can't single hit by pitch. It's
I got to cut him a tiny bit of slack, though, after last night, because he's it's an extreme set of circumstances. He's warming up. I agree with you 100%, by the way, but I might cut him give him a little latitude for last night. You're warming up. You got a 90-minute rain delay, and you have to go back in and pitch. And I know because the bullpen was taxed. They did a great job the night before against the Dodgers, but I'll cut him a little bit of latitude. But hitting back-to-back batters was just
Yeah, but Pete, the problem with him is his stuff is electric.
Yes.
It's like, and then he can't find the plate. You put a fake bunt up and he throws it over your head. So my issue with him is you can't count on him because he's hit or miss. The hit or miss guys are more the seventh inning, not the ninth inning. Now, obviously Chapman was out, and he probably is that eighth inning guy. But that's a tough loss. That was going to be a great win. It goes from a great win to a brutal loss, and so now, in my opinion, I've said this now for 2 weeks. I know everyone is talking about starter, and they do need a starter. But in my opinion, this team is littered with five. They have 7 5-inning starters, whether they're in Worcester or here with the Red Sox. Fitz last night is another. I'm a Fitz guy. I like him a lot, but these guys can't go 6 innings. So when you get a 5-inning guy and you got 3 of them or 4 of them, and right now Giolito's looking like one of those guys as well from good.
They need 7 out of him tonight. They need 7 out of him tonight.
I don't know if he's got it, Pete. And I know he's pitched. He's done that a few times. But my point is, this team needs bullpen arms. Believe it or not, they need another 1 or 2, and as well as a potential first baseman, as well as a number. They're not going to get a number 2 starter. Which, when I say number 2, I'm talking someone better than Bayo. Bayo is a 3. He's not a 2. And when I throw these numbers around, I'm saying if you're going to win in October, you've got to have a better bullpen, and you got to have a number 2 starter. Now, if you want to compete in October, they got a team that can compete in October. You add a bullpen arm, and then first base. My opinion is they have the resources. They have the prospects to go get a first baseman and potentially a pitcher. I just don't think they're going to go for all of it. So if you ask me, bullpen number 1, starter number 2, first baseman number 3. But I'm still ticked about last night. That was a tough loss.
Yeah, but if they come back and win the next 2, that's fine. I didn't expect them to sweep this series. By the way, what a shame. That is such a beautiful stadium, a beautiful field. And I know it rained last night, but I mean, to just see, and my boy Rocco Botelli went to my high school at Bishop Hendricken, and I always root for the Twins kind of on the side because of him. But that is one of the most beautiful stadiums in the world, and it's just sitting there, a quarter full. It's awful.
It's brutal. Bad. And I agree. And look, who are they like? They're like those. I don't know. I don't want to say the Kansas City Royals, but the Twins have had runs here over the last 50 years where they were the best team in baseball, like 4 different times.
Couldn't beat the Yankees. That's the only thing. Couldn't beat them.
No, I'll compare it to the Orioles. Same thing. Yeah. Orioles have the ownership there has basically said, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to spend any money on the team. And as I've said, Pete, I told you this before, the Red Sox and other teams like the Orioles, just by existing, they gain value like $700,000 a day in net worth, just by existing a day, not a year, not a month, a day. So I think it's a shame they're not investing in these teams. I don't like these teams getting paid through the luxury tax because they didn't invest enough. I don't like it at all. And, it's like Kansas City Royals do the same thing. And it's
How
like
about the Pirates in that beautiful stadium?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's brutal.
Embarrassing.
Pete, that's one of the great stadiums in sports.
It is. I've been there 3 times. Yeah. I love it. I love that place.
And what are they doing? They just don't know. They run like a second-rate organization.
And
I agree.
What happened? What happened with Bryce Harper? And I don't think he handled it the right way by going off on the commissioner to his face and telling him to
have respect.
Have a little bit of respect. And to Manfred's credit, he didn't back down. He went right back at him. Mm-hmm. But I think this is going to be an issue. And I do think that there could be a potential. And I think it's better than 50%. There could be a lockout for the CBI, collective bargaining agreement, doesn't get done. And it will be way worse than it was in '94. It was bad enough it took a decade in most cities, but especially Toronto, where they were the best team, to get back their fan base again. This will be way worse because baseball market's so shit. It's so shitty marketing. I think it'll be much worse if it ever gets to the point that there's a collective bargaining agreement, doesn't get done, and I don't expect the salary cap to ever get done, but the baseball fans, those that are left, should be concerned that if this collective bargaining agreement doesn't get, it'll be way worse than '94.
Yeah. So forget about who's right or who's wrong. It really is. It sort of is embarrassing that there's only 10 teams every year that can win a World Series. That's not right. Like, at least in the NFL, everyone has an opportunity. Now, how do you fix that? Is it they say it's salary cap, but the salary cap really protects the owners against themselves from paying too much. And again, we go back to the day-to-day running of the business. Obviously, that it's a business, but this is a closed business. They only allow 30 people. 30 ownerships in this business. So it's not an open business. It's not capitalistic. It's more of a socialistic market where everyone's making $1 billion. So I have a problem with baseball. This has been going on for 40 years now.
Yeah.
This is again, the Minnesota Twins, a perfect example. It's a shame because they're a well-run organization. They go through this where they've decided. It seems like they've already decided. They traded Paddock yesterday. The guy they're supposed to start today against the Red Sox. So they're basically saying, I mean, they're in the play. They're still in it. They're like 2 games out of the third playoff, the wild card battle, maybe 4 games. Like, what are you telling your fans?
Yeah, the Twins right now are behind the Red Sox. They are 5 games behind the Red Sox.
Yeah. So no, I get it. Now, you also could say, okay, they're not only 5 games behind the Red Sox, but they don't have a team that can win a World Series. So why go for it? I get that. But I'm not giving away players for mediocre prospects. And I'm saying, no, we're going to go after this a little bit. We're going to give him, we're weak in the bullpen, and we need another starter. Go get it. And go make it happen potentially. And then, you know what? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But your organization is the problem. Where you're at is because you're not bringing in free agents. There's always 1 or 2 free agents that could add value to your team. And I know they signed Correa, and that sort of has, what happens is that blew up in their face. So now they're saying, see, us spending money doesn't work. Yes, it does work.
Well, you know what else they do? They look at the American League East this year. They look at that. Oh, look at the Yankees, all that money, and they're only. I mean, if the Red Sox had won last night, they would be tied for first for this first wild card. They're only a game behind the Yankees now, and they're only a half game behind Seattle. Yes, they're only a half game up on Texas, who also helped out the Red Sox last night by losing. But see, they're looking at probably they'll make the decision. Look at the Red Sox and the Yankees, and look at their payrolls. And even though the Red Sox have underspent considering what they have, but they'll look at, see, we're not that far off. I mean, the Yankees have 49 losses, and we have only 6 more losses than they do. We're 51 and 55.
So imagine if you went for it a little bit. Imagine if you went for it a little bit. You probably could catch the Yankees and the Red Sox. So it's a shame, Pete, because like I said, Baltimore, same position. Pittsburgh, Minnesota, these are all beautiful stadiums. Camden Yards, still one of my favorites. And it's same thing. When the Red Sox go there, Pete, I was there a couple of years ago. It was 75% Red Sox fans. And it's not right. Baseball, listen. Baseball's doing pretty well right now. The ratings are up. The games are moving faster. I think baseball answered. They answered the call a couple of years ago, and I think they're going to have challenging pitches, which is a lot of fun. I've seen that in the minor leagues where you challenge a pitch, you hit your head, and it's like when you're watching a tennis match, like and you see everyone sees it. It's exciting. You remember it. And baseball, the bases are a little bigger. The bottom line, the games are moving better. And guess what? Look at the salaries. They're getting higher. That's $300 million. There's $25, $300 million contracts. I mean, don't tell me baseball's not doing well. So I'm not gonna. Baseball, don't screw this up, Manfred. And Bryce Harper, show a little respect and be part of the solution. Don't just start throwing swears around. I don't like that at all.
No, and he could have pulled him to. Now I know in the end, they shook hands, and I don't know how genuine that was in the end. And I get that. And a lot of times these stories get reported, and they always leave that out.
Yeah.
I saw a little blurb at the end of a story on ESPN that said, "Yeah, well, they did shake hands, but who knows how genuine or disingenuous it was." I just don't agree. I don't care how much you hate it. Don't do that. I mean, he's a commissioner, base. He deserves a little bit of respect.
Bryce Harper, don't get me wrong, one of my favorite people in the sport.
I agree. Me too.
He is all about players, all about sticking up for players. You see him; he's very respectful. I'm the biggest Bryce Harper fan. Like the Red Sox blow by not going after players like that when they're available, not even making a run. I'm not even talking a fake run at Soto. I'm talking a real run at a guy like this. This guy in Boston, are you kidding me?
Well, like Scherzer, they let him go too.
Yeah, don't get me going on that. Don't let me go.
No, I want you to get going. What is it? I mean, people forget that. I think people have they just blocked it out, maybe because the Red Sox have been not good for the last several years. But Scherzer was Scherzer was on the Red Sox.
Yeah, Schwarber was. Listen, I did a story during his run during the playoff. He was talk about a guy not intimidated at all by a Boston or New York. I mean, the big moments. Those guys aren't. There's not a lot of those guys, and I know they thought the problem with him was they didn't really think they had a position for him. And what you do, you make a position for him. You sign him and you put him in left field, and you live with the mediocre defense because your center fielder's a Gold Glove candidate and your right fielder's a Gold Glove candidate. And the guy hits 40 homers. That's why you do it. And he's a great guy in the clubhouse. And he's not afraid of the ninth inning, extra innings down 3-2. He's gonna get the big home run. So he's a free agent coming up. Going to be interesting because. The Red Sox could have had him for nothing. Which is 18, 19 million in baseball speak. Guess what? He's now going to be a $25 million guy, and you're going to have to pay over 100 to get him.
Batting 253. Who cares? 36 home runs, 84.
Well, 253 is high for him, Pete. 253 is good for him.
Hey, I just look at the number. The OPS is 954, and the home runs and RBI 36 and 84. Oh my God,
the guy's a winner. So I don't understand. The Phillies are, but again, you could say that with there's 5 or 6 teams. But the Phillies are going for it. They do always go for it. The reason why I respect Philadelphia is because of Dave Dombrowski.
Yes.
And Pete, we've talked about this before. It's in Philadelphia, the baseball department runs the show. Analytics answers to the baseball. That's the opposite with the Red Sox. That's the opposite with the Yankees. Analytics answers. You report to analytics. They make the final decision.
And the Red Sox, and I want to talk about Walker Buehler for a second, but the Red Sox are in position. If they can just keep it together a little bit for another couple of weeks, they can be in position to be at least that top wild card spot. I don't know if they're ever going to get to catch the Blue Jays, who are red hot. I know they lost it to the. I mean,
it doesn't matter, Pete. Just make the playoffs.
Just make the postseason. Because the Yankees are reeling right now, and if I had an underdog bet of the year last night, only at plus 106, I would have taken Tampa Bay, and they won 4-2, but I didn't. So patting myself on the back isn't going to be good.
So Pete, the Red Sox need more consistency with the starting pitching, and if their starting pitching is good, they're making the playoffs, and I wouldn't count them out. So, but they have Pete, they have 6 guys, and Hunter Dobbins, he returns. He's a potential, but can we count on Hunter? When I say we, can the Red Sox count on Hunter Dobbins to go 6 innings? The Red Sox need a 6-inning guy. They got 6 5-inning guys, and that's in my opinion. If they do go out for a trade, and we mentioned Dylan Cease, I would take him in a second. I'm just not taking him for Duran or Abreu.
He pitched last night, not great.
Yeah. But he's a guy. He's pitched in the playoffs. Pitched in the playoffs last year. He was teammates with Crochet for a couple years in Chicago. No, he's a good starter. He's arguably better than Buehler. And we talk about Buehler. Buehler teased us last week with that start. 7 innings, 2 against Philadelphia. Really good start. They lost the game, but. The Red Sox can't live with these another 4-inning start, 5 innings, because the bullpen they don't have enough quality arms. They have some quality arms. I like the bullpen.
But the crazy part is, Bill, is that the bullpen since the All-Star break, or even before that, has been like the best in baseball. People,
it
as
has
far
been.
as ERA and strikeouts and all that stuff. Now, I mean, they have been getting some better quality starts lately. I'll get to Walker Buehler in a second, but it's got to be consistent. I think Bayo he should be at least a 6-inning guy consistently. He should be. We know that Crochet is. And Walker Buehler, they threw the stat up on Nesson the other night. I couldn't believe it. He's fine except for the fourth inning.
Right.
His ERA is like 15 in the fourth inning. Everything else is kind of okay, you know. But for some reason, which is around the third time through the lineup maybe. But it's even okay if he gets past the fourth inning. He's okay in the fifth and the sixth. His fourth inning ERA is unbelievable. It's over 15.
His problem is he gets 0-2, 1-2, and a lot of guys, and he can't get him out. And it's like 3-2. All of a sudden, it's 3-2 again. His 3-2 counts were out of control the other day. And I like him. He's sort of a guy built for Boston. He was with the Dodgers. Remember he closed out the World Series in the bullpen. He came in, but he's had 2 Tommy John surgeries. So he's not throwing the 96, 97 he was throwing. He's more 92, 93, 94.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to, and I wrote this a couple of weeks ago, he's got to learn how to pitch as a different guy with 2 Tommy John surgeries, not the guy who just challenged every hitter he ever saw his entire life. So I like him. And if the Philadelphia start, that opened my eyes what his potential is. The problem is, as we saw with Hicks, it can't be hit or miss. There's too many hit or misses here, and that's the problem, Pete. And I wrote about another guy wrote about Aroldis Chapman. I was shocked at how good of a teammate he was. He's got this aloof personality, sort of like he's on his own Cuban guy, Spanish, Latin guy.
He reminds me of a Latin Lee Smith, kind of like, but he's lights out. I mean, I know he was hurting the other night.
Pete, Lee Smith was a decent guy. No, Chapman's talking to pitchers, helping them. A guy has a bad start, a bad bullpen on it. Greg Weisser told me. He goes, pulled me aside and said, "You're better than this. Don't worry about it." He said it was like, when a coach tells you it, he never pitched. He never played barely. When you get one of the great closers of all time telling you. So my point is, also Chapman's 37 years old. And guess what happens to 37-year-olds? They get back spasms. So that's why the Red Sox, here I said, they need, in my opinion, number one, bullpen. Another bullpen arm, maybe 2. And I'm talking good. Guys that you can count on. Because, Pete, if they're going to go 5 innings, you're going to have 4 starters averaging 5 innings. That leaves 16 innings over the next 4 games you're going to fill with guys. And it's not easy.
Well, hopefully Giolito can give them at least 6 tonight. That would be, they need him to go 6 tonight. Let's not also underestimate, I guess it was pretty, and I heard Dave brought it up last night, Dave O'Brien on Nesson. That was a horrible flight they had to Minnesota. I guess it was very, very rocky and windy. And while he was telling the story a little bit, you could hear the fear in his voice. And it got so bad. Garrett Whitlock wasn't able to go last night either. I guess when they landed, and it was late when they landed, delayed and all that stuff, I guess he puked all over the place. They had to pull over for him to throw up, I think. They said they had a pit stop for him. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but that was a pretty horrible flight they had to Minnesota the other day from Boston.
Yeah, and Pete, we don't really, I don't want to talk about Roger Clemens, the guys carrying their own luggage, but things do happen on the road. And it's funny, Pete, because one of the best things that happened to the minor leagues during COVID was they realized they do week-long trips on the road rather than travel by bus every 3 days. And there's 6 days in one place. It's the best thing that happened to minor league baseball. The guys can settle in. You get some starters that will pitch 2 games against the same team because they'll pitch Sunday and then they'll pitch like the following Saturday. But that being said, these guys, that's the one thing we don't talk about ever when they travel is how tough it is to travel sometimes.
Well, I talked to Sean McAdam yesterday too, and because I was going to have him on the show today, instead we're going to do a show with him on Monday. I was still going to have you on, but I know I wasn't sure if he was traveling. He said it was awful. They delayed. They didn't land until 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
there was a horrible flight. He said there was a horrible flight,
and we expect perfection. No excuses.
But
Well,
here you go. Now imagine that's the writers. So you got the team that lands in a horrific fight at 4:30. One of your relief pitchers is sick. You got to throw up all over the place. And I know it's a night game, but it throws you off. All right, it's got to throw you off just a little bit.
Pete, I'm not going to whine about covering anything, but I will tell you, covering baseball, Major League Baseball, is by far the toughest sport, the toughest chore. And it's every day is 3 a.m. to midnight, and you get to bed at 2. And then you got to get back to the park. You literally wake up, have breakfast, coffee, and you're back at the park. And if you want to be good and get breaking stories, you're there even earlier. Brutally hard, tough on marriages, just like cops and athletes. It's very tough sport. Not going to complain because it's very enjoyable. The access you get in baseball is the best. It's the opposite of the NFL, especially when Belichick was there. But in baseball, you can an hour and a half before the game, 2 hours, you can really literally have a life conversation with the player, and it doesn't happen in any other sport.
And Bill Burr joining us from the Eagle Tribune. I want to make a transition to the NFL. A horrific story. I'm surprised it still didn't get more play this morning on ESPN, the TV and radio before I got on at 6 o'clock. And I know it happened at 6:30 yesterday. Look, I have given out 345 Park Avenue address many, many times, not only in Boston, but every other station I've had to go and given out Roger Goodell's phone number, the one that everybody has. But I can't believe what I saw yesterday, how this guy just walks up to the building where the NFL headquarters are located on the 5th through the 8th floors and walks in with a rifle, kills 4 people, then shoots himself. I mean, I've seen the still pictures of it. I had a hard time starting the show because usually I play Shoot the Thrill from AC/DC. I didn't want to do that for obvious reasons, but I couldn't believe what I was watching. I just can't. You just walk up with a rifle, walk in the building, start shooting people.
Well, Pete, we're in a free country. It's the one thing about a free country. This stuff is fair game, and we saw it with what happened in September 11th. The doors are sort of open. It's you can walk in with.
Where are the security? The cameras are everywhere. Even walking up to the building, and I know the person at the front desk is one that got shot too. But it's not like somebody dropped him off at the door and he walked in. This guy walked a pretty decent way, it seemed, into where that building is. And I know where it is. I'm sure you do as well. Don't you just look at the mind and go, what is this guy doing? I mean,
why isn't someone? And he wasn't hiding anything. So why wouldn't a billion-dollar corporation, multi-billion-dollar corporation, have better security? I agree, but it's also he went to the wrong floor. I mean, he was sort of he was a mess. And
he said his pocket said he had CTE.
But we can't, I get that too. I don't know. I'm just I still want what do? Do we give up all our freedoms because of a couple crazies? At some point, things change. Remember in Seattle, someone put something in toothpaste, and now we have covers. I can't open anything anymore, Pete. I can't.
I can't either. I have a hard time. Everything is. It's like I need my readers. Sometimes I get so frustrated. I just get a knife and I start cutting things.
I can't open cottage cheese right now. It's just like I can't open anything. So because of safety reasons. So we. How much do we want to give up? Pete, it's a sickening story, but there are people out there. All you got to do is just go on social media and you see this crazies that are out there and how extreme people are. We're all, you yell, I yell, we have fun, but we're really quote unquote normal. We're we live our lives. My point is we're not shouting at everyone everywhere we go. We shout on the radio a little bit and. Pete, some of my great, I've told you, I'd be in bed watching you on Mike Adams, Adams show on Neckin, and the sound would be down, and I'd just see you yelling and screaming, and I couldn't hear it because the sound was down, and it was funny. So
my face turned into
my point is, you don't live your life that way. I've been with you before. We've been to a cigar bar down in Florida. We've had a couple great times. But we need our freedoms here, but
I just don't know how security. And this to me has nothing to do We all know how easy it is to get guns, and I understand all that. But this is not about. I just don't know how security in this stage and age, especially in Midtown, that you don't see the guy walking up with a rifle. This again, he wasn't dropped off at the front door. He walked a pretty good distance to get to the front with a rifle in plain sight, and nobody did anything, and nobody saw him. That's what baffles me.
Yeah, sickening. It's sickening, and I'm sad, and I'm very, you pray for these people. I think of the families, what they're going through. There's more out there. There's more out there like this, though, unfortunately.
All right, Bill, you're headed to Patriots camp, tomorrow? Back to Patriots camp tomorrow?
Heading back tomorrow. I can't. So Hector Longo, Hector, Hector well. And Hector's been going down for a couple days. I think he might even go back today. I'm going back tomorrow. I'm just going to say it now. I think the key to the Red Sox to the Patriots season is Stephon Diggs. If Stephon Diggs is a good teammate, if he's healthy, and everything else lines up with this team after him, everyone is in the spot they deserve to be at. I think 10 wins is a very good possibility. Now, I'm not going over the top, and it's because of their schedule. Now, next year, a year later, their schedule is going to be tougher if they finish second place. But they're better, in my opinion. They're better than the Jets, and they're better than the Dolphins. And guess what? Vegas says so too. The Patriots are picked to finish second. Now, I saw the number 8.5.
They're favored in 11 games out of the 17 thus far. 11 games.
Say that again?
The Patriots are favored in Vegas. Out of the 17-game schedule, they're favored in 11 of them.
I will say, if they could just win something like 10 games, make the playoffs, just like, the Red Sox, making the playoffs, these young players making the playoffs is only going to help them next year. And I say the same thing about the Patriots. You get Drake May a couple of playoff games, get him at least one. It changes the trajectory of their careers the next year immediately. And that's what they need, in my opinion. So we'll see. Again, the little drama now is the two cornerbacks are hurt. One's hurt. They haven't played here. Davis and of course Christian Gonzalez got hurt yesterday. But it looks like it appears like it's not serious, either one. So, but I just things feel right about this team, and I have not said that. I'm going back to 2021, where I did not say that, or 22, where it's been, even with Belichick, it was not good. And it feels good over there.
Absolutely. And Greg Vrabel is, that's where it starts and ends. I love it. All right, my man, you're the best. Thanks so much. How's Max doing okay, your son and all
Max
that?
had a good week. Keep it up. He's a Yankee.
Yes, he is.
I do watch Yankee games as well. As I said, a lot of players on the
when the hell's he going to get called up? Everybody's getting hurt.
I get Cash. I don't have Cashman's number. If you want to talk to Cashman, you could ask him yourself. But I'd appreciate that too if you did.
Yeah,
that.
Absolutely. I'll send him a letter. I'll send him a text.
All right, Pete. Take care.
Right, take care. Bill Burt from the Eagle Tribune. Here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Network. All right, quick break, and then Joe Zagacki up next, play-by-play voice for the Miami Dolphins here at Pete Sheppard Show, Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right
Don't
now, our
spaz out
country feels
because your
divided,
team
but there's a
lost.
place where
Let Pete
people
do
are
it
coming.
for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
All right, back here, final segment of the Pete Sheppard Show on this terrific Tuesday, and welcome in one of my favorite people in the world to talk to. Very fortunate, taking a few minutes today. Joe Zagacki, legendary play-by-play voice for the Miami Hurricanes, baseball, football, basketball. If they had a hockey team, he'd be doing that as well. No doubt about it. Could do any sport. Joe, good morning. How are you, sir?
So far, so good. Pete, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Well, we're just about a month away from the opener against Notre Dame at Hard Rock. I will be there. I cannot wait. I will try to come up and say hi. I'm in my buddy Lou D'Annunzio's suite or something, wherever we are. I cannot wait. But let's get right into it. Let me start with ACC Media Day or whatever. Mario Cristobal and company. And Shannon Dawson, the OC, Corey Heatherman. I want to get into what your thoughts on those coaches, but overall, your thoughts of Mario and the Miami Hurricanes thus far. Even though we haven't seen a lot of Carson Beck yet, what's your overall perspective? What you've seen so far?
Well, the expectations are extremely high. This is probably the best roster they've had in 15 or 20 or more.
Joe, can you get closer to the phone? You're cutting out. You're not the. Go ahead.
I said their roster is probably as good as it's ever been, at least going back to 2000s. And so the expectations are very high. And I think they should be high. Got a stacked roster. They've recruited at a high level. He's been given every resource imaginable, whether assistant coach, assistant to the assistant, money, NIL. They've got everything they need right now.
Yeah, Joe, you're cutting out. It's like two words and then you cut out for some reason. The mic, it's not picking your voice up all the way. It's hard to understand. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if we can log out and then log back in. If that'll do it, I'm not sure. For some reason, it's not picking up. And Angel's not here to do it by phone. But I don't know if you want to try logging out and log back in. Let's see if that works. All right. Let's see that. Joe Zagacki from Flagship QM in Miami for the Miami Hurricanes. Hopefully, logging back in will do the trick. Hopefully, it will do the trick. No. Let's see. Sometimes, we're a little quirky, and we can't get him on by phone today either because of Angel had to cut out today for a personal reason. Okay, Joe, there you are. How you? Go ahead, do a little check for me.
Well, this one's.
Yeah, damn it! It's still, for some reason, it's still cutting out. And normally I just have you call in, but Angel had a personal thing to run, and he's got the studios up in Tampa with the phone.
Okay.
Damn it! I want to shoot.
Well, right next week.
You want to try? You want to try again? When can we try again? What's your schedule like? And we'll do it. We can do it by phone if it's just where it comes in clear as a bell. What's your schedule like? You tell me.
Just company people figure.
Okay, you're cutting it in. I'm sorry, Joe. I'll text you, and we'll get this done. I'm so sorry. For some reason, your mic is just cutting out. You look great. You look happy and handsome and everything. I just can't. It's just cutting in and out. So again, my producer is not here today. He had to run out at 7:30 for a personal reason. All right, Joe. I'll be in touch. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, but we'll get it done. I look forward to speaking with you in the very, very near future. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Joe Zagacki, great play-by-play voice for the Miami Hurricanes. Where is the okay. All right. Well, all right. We're gonna end the show right there. Anyway, and I'll be back tomorrow. That's at 7 a.m. Bill Sparrows at 8:30 a.m. or 8:05 a.m. Matt Baker covers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will join me at 9 o'clock tomorrow, and maybe another guest in there as well. Everybody else, have a safe and great rest of your Tuesday, everybody here. Thanks to my guest, Trevor Harris. Thanks to Bill Burke and Joe Zagacki for giving it a try. We'll fix that technical issue and be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a good day, everybody. See ya.